The Jedi and Sith have warred for centuries, with both orders and viewpoints naturally colliding, as one respects and uses the Force for the betterment of the galaxy and others, and purely chooses to learn the lighter aspects of it, while the other is only interested in what gifts and power the Force can grant them, and therefore focuses primarily on the dark side. But over these many centuries, especially after the establishment of the Rule of Two era of Sith Lords, the Sith Apprentices produced by the Dark Order have been noticeably more powerful and capable than many of the Jedi Padawans and Knights, and in some cases, even Jedi Masters. With prime examples of this being Starkiller, Asajj Ventress, and Darth Maul, all with impressive Jedi Master kills under their belt, and all executed at the age of a Jedi Padawan. So why is this? Why is it that in most cases, if a Jedi Padawan engaged a Dark Lord of the Sith in combat, they would most definitely be demolished, but yet these Sith Apprentices not only constantly engage and kill Jedi Masters, but are also expected to? Well, the answer is a lot of things contribute to it. For starters, the dark side of the Force itself naturally grants an individual more power more quickly. When one is immersed in the dark side, they experience an immediate swell of power, while Jedi are expected to hone the gifts of the Force over decades. The Force is largely based off of one's emotional state, and while emotions more favored in the light, like love and selflessness, acquire years to properly develop, even in real life, emotions that favor the darkness, like anger and jealousy, strike immediately, and in many cases, powerfully. But the emotions such as love usually last much longer. The same principle is used when describing the Force and its many aspects. Another reason is the training involving a Jedi and a Sith. A Jedi is primarily trained to master themselves. They learn respect and control from their body to their emotions. Sith exercise chaos. They learn out of fear and spite, and are more concerned with dominating others than themselves. This is, however, not to say that they lack discipline, just that it is acquired differently. Sith Apprentices are trained in combat much more often than a Jedi Knight or a Jedi Padawan. Before a Sith Apprentice truly becomes viewed as a possible successor to a Dark Lord, they are just a tool to be used and cast aside if they prove dull or break. As a tool of the Dark Lord, they become primarily assassins or personal servants or bodyguards that protect the Dark Lord. In extreme cases, such as the relationship between Darth Plagueis and his master Tenebrous, a Sith Apprentice isn't viewed as a potential successor until the very moment the master is defeated. And in other cases, Sith Apprentices are purely trained as tools, with no desire for a Dark Lord to advance them beyond that, with examples like Count Dooku or Savage Opress. Because of this, Sith Apprentices become much more battle-tested and capable, as they have learned what true pain is, and how to properly dispose of an adversary at any cost. Likely the most important contributor to a Sith Apprentice's superiority over a Jedi was a Sith Apprentice knew exactly what they would be fighting when they engaged a Jedi, while on the other hand, the Jedi could feel the dark side, but had no idea the caliber of an enemy they would be facing or the long history they had with them. When Darth Bane destroyed the Sith Order, he was aware the galaxy would never be his. His goal was to wait. He needed the Jedi to destroy themselves and lose sight of the Sith Order. In fact, it became one of Darth Bane's top priorities to keep the Sith hidden, with its importance just placed behind the Sith's survival overall. Until the Battle of Naboo between Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Darth Maul, the Jedi believed the Sith were gone, and while some Jedi, such as Kenobi, had engaged in life-or-death lightsaber duels before with the likes of the Dark Jedi Xanatos, Kenobi was still defeated by Maul, and was only successful in maiming Maul based off of the Sith's own arrogance. This would later be taken to even more of an extreme when Yoda dueled Sidious in the Senate building, when he would comment to himself that the Jedi had designed their own destruction by fighting an enemy that no longer existed. For centuries, the Sith had watched the Jedi very carefully, in some cases even walking among them for a time, while the Jedi believed their ancient enemy was gone forever. And the final reason, and one of the more important ones, is that Sith Apprentices were selected very carefully. Unlike the Jedi, who would train even relatively Force-sensitive children to the point of Padawan status, Sith Apprentices were carefully crafted and selected, in extreme cases even being a total design by their masters. To be a Sith Apprentice, one had to not only be Force-sensitive, but extremely Force-sensitive, and beyond that, they most often needed to have felt true loss or tragedy, even if it was constructed by their own master. Examples of this loss being Vader killing Starkiller's father right in front of him, or Asajj Ventress losing her Jedi Master in front of her and being abandoned by the Jedi Order. The point is, the Sith didn't just train anyone. They needed power within them, and beyond that, they needed to have felt the darkness before the Dark Lord ever claimed them to begin with. So that is why Sith Apprentices are inherently more powerful than Jedi Padawans. Of course, there are exceptions, but this video just took a look at the broad view and attempted to explain why individuals like Savage Opress or Starkiller can be seen absolutely demolishing not only Jedi Padawans or Knights, but Jedi Masters. So how do you feel about this? Do you like the fact that in most cases Sith Apprentices are far more powerful than Jedi? Also, who is your favorite Sith Apprentice, and who is your favorite Jedi Apprentice? If you enjoyed the video and feel it deserves it, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a like, as it helps the channel out a great deal. If you would like to speak to me directly and ask questions, you can follow me on Twitter at StupendousWave. If you have any lore topics or suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments or again, tweet them at me. If you haven't already, maybe consider subscribing to ensure you stay up to date with everything Star Wars related. Thanks again so much for watching, may the Force be with you, and have a great day.